TRS Clips, the place you arrive at if you just want the best bits of India's smartest podcast, The Ranveer Show. Subscribe, hit that bell icon. See, I'm also a branding advertising person, which is why, I mean, when musicians hear songs,
Yeah.
they're able to break it down and say, oh, whatever, this is how they get up.
Sure.
An advertising and branding person is able to see brands
Right.
in terms of this is how Abhishek Bachchan is perceived or this is how XYZ is perceived.
Sure.
You're perceived as like a thinking content consumers actor now.
Okay.
That's what's
Fair enough.
happening.
Yeah, sure.
I believe even you have insight
Sure,
on that. And
sure.
I think you're playing to your strengths there as well. Like,
Okay.
to give you a sports reference, you're LeBron James in LA, and now you've got to play a more playmaking game
Okay.
than what you used to do in Miami.
All right.
You got the reference.
I got it. Not currently with the Lakers' current form, but yeah. Okay.
My point is that you're a thinking consumers actor. That's what I feel. My question to you is, how do you work that muscle? Because I feel like you study a lot of stuff outside of cinema as well. Like, you're someone who studies culture. You're someone who knows what's up in the world of social media. What's that like? Because in an actor or actress's success, I feel there's a lot of other factors other than just the craft. There's people skills, there's X factor, there's knowing where to position yourself. And the big gift of podcasting is that you get to deep dive into people's minds.
Yeah.
And when
I'll tell you, I had a rough introduction into the world of films as an actor. And I've spoken about it publicly. I've never shied away from it because it happened. I mean, it's right there. I mean, if I don't talk about it, doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's there. It's for everyone to see. Apart from just not being ready or prepared enough, or as good enough as I should have been, and I admit that to myself today, I think also a large contributing factor to that was I was very removed mentally, aesthetically, from Indian cinema. Make no mistake, I grew up on my father's film sets. But from the age of 9, I was in Europe studying. So my formative years, my training in acting and the world of cinema and stage from my boarding school days was English, was Shakespeare, was Oscar Wilde, was Franz Kafka, was Chekhov, Stanislavski. Then when you go to acting school, you learn the method, and you're exposed to everything that's Western. My upbringing, my best friends, most of my friends, till I was 20, 21, apart from the few that I had from childhood, who I'm still in touch, they were all foreign. So all those friends of mine from boarding school and college were all foreigners. So a huge cultural influence of multicultures which were not just India. And I spent my holidays in India, so I had a huge dollop of that as well. My parents ensured that we were in touch with our roots. But a large part of the influence was foreign. My outlook was that. My speech was that. My wife tells me today, the first time she met me, I was actually, I think just back from college. I just started working for my father as a production boy. He was making a movie called Mrityudata, and I was sent on the location scout to Switzerland because I'd grown up there. They said, oh, he'll know the locations, let him go. And in those days, I was there, and my dear friend Bobby was shooting his first film, Aur Pyar Ho Gaya. And I was at the same location. I went to say hi to him, and he said, oh, come for dinner. And that was Aishwarya's first Hindi film. And that's the first time I actually interacted with her. And whenever she talks about it, she jokingly says, she said, I couldn't understand a word of what you were saying. Because here I was, this kid from an international boarding school, then went to Boston, came out, and, I must have had some really heavy accent at that point of time. And she's like, what were you saying? So, I was very foreign in that sense. My influences were foreign, when you talked about acting, you think about, you had equal dollops of a David Niven and a Sir Laurence Olivier and John Gielgud and the great Marlon Brando. In directors, you wanted to read Elia Kazan's work and stuff. And that was it. You asked me to speak about cinema and about acting. This is what I discussed with you because that's what I was taught. You talk to me about English literature, I'll talk to you about Thomas Hardy and Shakespeare. What I didn't realize was I needed to consume a lot more local Indian content. And I didn't take it seriously, and I didn't understand the depth of what he was saying. When I spoke to my father from college, and my family was going through a very difficult financial time, and I just felt as a son, although I might not have been qualified at that point in time, but I needed to be with my father. I needed to, even for moral support. He's a big guy on moral support. He likes to know his family's around. Right? I said, I can't be here sitting in Boston when my doesn't know how he's going to get dinner. And that's how bad it was. And he said it publicly. He had to borrow money from his staff to put food on the table. I just felt morally obliged to be with him. And I called him and I said, Dad, I think I want to leave college halfway and come back and just be with you and try and help in whatever way. At least you'll know that your boy is next to you and, he's there for you. So he was very emotional, he was very touched, he was very moved. But he ended the rest of that conversation, which obviously I won't have about. But he said, I'm glad, because we'd already discussed that I would like to be an actor. He said, I'm glad, come back, Bhasha Seekho, because Shakespeare doesn't work over here. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I realized that today. So I was very out of context. When I first came here, I can't count Refugee because JP Saab is just a class apart. But after that, when I came to the industry, people were making movies and I was like, dude, what's up with you guys? Why are you doing this? Why are you wearing these clothes? Why are you dancing? I don't know, this isn't cool, man. This is what is meant to be cool. But that was like 10 years ago. I was doing that when I was 12, 13. And no, that's not cool. This is not the kind of music you should be listening to. I just had, I didn't look down upon them. I just didn't get it. And I realized that I needed to get it. So I did the absolute wrong thing. I went for the other end and I said, okay, I'm going to do the most commercial, most loud. I'm just going to go with that. Let me get used to it. But I'm trying to get used to something that I just don't understand. And it took me a lot of time to start accepting it and understanding the brilliance and beauty of it. Truly, the brilliance and beauty of it. One of my favorite actors is Govinda. There's a genius at work over there. But you need to understand where he's coming from. To somebody who doesn't understand the world and context of Indian cinema, they're not going to understand the genius of Govinda. Now, with time, you started getting comfortable in this environment. Plus, that environment has also evolved. And now that streaming platforms have come in, they've suddenly brought world content at the push of a button. India is watching Squid Game, which is from South Korea, and Money Heist, which is from Spain, and watching Family Man at the same time. Multi-cultures that are just clashing in, and they're seeing it seamlessly. They understand it. They've evolved. So somewhere, I think I have managed to accept and understand what Indian audiences truly love and want. Plus, subject matter and the audiences evolve to understand and accept something which is a bit more universally accepted. So the two have kind of met. And I think I'm just at the right place at the right time. And I've understood and found my chi at the right time in that sense. 100%. So I think that's why you might think that, you look more comfortable and at ease.